Well, good morning to my TikTok, Facebook, Blue Note, Blue Skies, fan base, Instagram family. How was everyone doing? As for me, I slept good. Kevin had a good day yesterday, so I'm really happy about that. I really am happy about that. Um, Hi, my name is Rachel, but I go by Better Love on this app and on Facebook, Rachel Better Love Banks, and I am an advocate for caregivers and those who are dealing with mental health in the Black community. Everyone knows my story. I had my mom for 15 years who had Alzheimer's, schizophrenia, and Parkinson's. But prior to her passing in 2022 and 2021, I had to get my adult son Kevin, who lives with schizophrenia, affective disorder, traumatic brain injury, early onsets, Alzheimer's, and a slight heart condition. And yes, he's only 39 years young. And yes, it's rare, but you can get early onsets Alzheimer's at a very young age. Unfortunately, my son was in that statistics. We are in Suicide Prevention Awareness Month, and I can't believe we're in day 29. And for the month of September, I have been talking about suicide prevention. Stay another day. There's a young lady on this app. If you go to my shop, you'll see I got a T-shirt that says "Stay Another Day." And the 988 Suicide Prevention Hotline number is embroidered in the shirt. I'm also ordering a hoodie for myself and for Kevin. I did order two shirts for me and for him. But yeah, but we are in Suicide Prevention Awareness Month, and I have dedicated this month to talk about suicide because a lot of people don't know, but I've shared, and even Kevin has shared, he attempted suicide twice by cops in our home state. He also has had suicide intentions while he's been here with me since 2021. And yes, he does go to the psychiatric unit when that does happen. Um, Late last night, I ran to the store and I sat in the back of my house. It was about 11:30 last night, and I started scrolling. Once I got back, I just scrolled through TikTok, and this amazing young gentleman named Joshua Davis. I did duet his video last night. Not duet. I'm sorry. I stitched his video last night, and he is a twice suicide attempt survivor. And I think it was amazing that this young man came out on the World Wide Web to share his journey. Now, I want you to go back and look at the video that I did do it of him. Please, he was attacked as a child by family dogs. So his face is disfigured, but his spirit is beautiful. This young man has endured surgeries. He has endured a lot in his life that made him want to attempt suicide, and I thank God that he was not successful. So this morning, I want to read about the statistics of survivors who have attempted suicide, and it's deep. My son is a suicide survivor, and as always, you guys know I bring facts and statistics out when it comes to giving out information. I don't like doing anything without proper information. So let's get started. Like I said, when I do things like this, it's because it affects me and my family. When I talk about sexual assault, that's me. I'm a sexual assault survivor. When I talk about domestic violence, I am a domestic violence survivor. Okay. Over 90% of suicide attempts do not result in death. Most survivors of suicide attempt will not die by suicide later in their lives, though they do face a significantly higher risk of attempts and complete suicide compared to the general public. Survival statistics. High survival rates over 90%. Let's get that to 100%. Okay? Of suicide attempts do not end in death. In 2019, the Center of Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC, reported 1.4 million attempts in the U.S. compared to 47,500 completed suicides. That number, 47,500 completed suicide. In other words, they accomplished what they tried. That's too many people. One person is too many people. Most do not reattempt. Approximately 7% of those who attempt suicide once will never do so again. That's 70%. Let's get that up to 100%. Risk for suicide: 5% to 11% of hospital treated suicide attempters will eventually die by suicide. 5 to 11%. The risk is high in the first months and years following an attempt. High risk within a year. About 80% complete suicides occur within the first year of the initial attempt. Now they're talking about the demographics and the factors. Studies have identified several factors are associated with a greater likelihood of suicide attempts and increased risk for suicide attempts. I'm sorry, let me reread that. I'm sorry. Studies have identified several factors that are associated with a greater likelihood of suicide attempt and increased risk for future attempts. Gender. In a study of hospitalized patients, females have the highest survival rate, 93.8, than males at 85.7 following a suicide attempt. Males who attempt suicide are significantly more likely to die during the first attempt. Stay another day, brother. Mental health, mental and psychological health. Psychiatric conditions like depression, anxiety, and substance abuse problems are major factors. People who are serious with serious illnesses or chronic pain are also increased risk. My son used substances to stop the voices in his head, and I remember him telling me. Environmental factors: access to lethal means, prolonged stress, unemployment, financial price problems. The stressful life events like relationship loss or have all contribute to the risk. Socioeconomic studies. In a national survey, lower educational achievement and recent financial crisis were significant risk factors for future suicide attempts. Social isolation. A lack of social connection and support is key risk factor. Tomorrow I'm going to read the rest when it says the aftermath and recovery, because this is an important survey. This hits home for me because of my son. Stay another day. Joshua, I want once again thank you for coming out here. It takes a brave soul to tell your journey. Please go duet, stitch, comment, look at all his videos. He also has a GoFund to help him in his journey in life. What do you say to a person who has attempted suicide? Do we just leave them alone? As you heard me read, isolation is one. Think about being left alone and the only thing you have is your thoughts. And your thoughts are more deadly than anything else in the world. Brothers have a higher risk of succeeding with suicide attempts. Check on your friends and your family who you know is dealing with some form of crisis, whether it's financial relationship, whether or not it is a mental health issue. Check on your friends. I'd rather hear you talk about your bad day than read about you in your obituary. It is that simple. My door is always open for anyone who want to vent, yell, scream. I'm not a licensed therapist. I'm not a licensed psychologist. I am not a life coach. What I am is an advocate for caregivers and those dealing with mental health in the Black community, and I know I can help you contact professionals. Stay another day. Please, you are loved. Most importantly, I want you to learn to love yourself. I'll talk to you guys later. I'm headed to work. And like I said, mental health is a big issue. Suicide is real. Check on your friends who you know have attempted or are thinking about it. Look for the warning signs, and I'll post the warning signs later.